Winning the support of brown, black, and Asian voters will be key to winning the Democratic nomination in 2020 and the presidential election in November. 2018 was the most racially diverse midterm election ever, and this year, Hispanic voters will become the largest minority group in the American electorate. So, what's motivating minority voters to rush to the polls in 2020?
We need access to universal healthcare, a healthcare that's not going to bankrupt folks.
Healthcare for all, should not apply to your employment status, your marital status, your immigration citizen status, your race. It is a basic human right.
We make so many decisions based on our health insurance. People have to choose between paying their rent or paying for medication that they need. If we had guaranteed healthcare, how would guaranteed healthcare change our lives?
The debt crisis has become way too crazy.
In my case, I will be paying my student loans for 25 years or longer.
What I'm concerned about is a candidate would be able to provide tuition-free colleges or loan forgiveness.
One issue that matters to me, especially as an African immigrant, is immigration. We have hundreds of thousands of immigrants that are under DACA, and our current President Trump has revoked that program.
My parents came from El Salvador in the 80s. My dad's in the process of renewing his permanent residency. Just a lot of fears around that right now. We need somebody that's actually, instead of patching up certain aspects of the immigration laws, just overhauls the entirety of it.
Another issue that is very important to me is that we redistribute the wealth across the U.S. and we start taxing the 1%.
Historically, people of color have been turned away in banks when they're about to acquire loans, literally to create businesses. So the candidate that I believe in would allow more people of color to be accepted and to be included in conversations of entrepreneurship.
Something that isn't talked about enough is the everyday violence of gun violence. There is only thoughts and prayers after a mass shooting. I'm sick of thoughts and prayers, and I just need action at this point.
So I'm a person that comes from Palestine. It matters to me that there's going to be a person that chooses to say, you know what, Israeli settlements are illegal and Israeli settlements are a project of settler colonization.
You're also risking a lot of lives for poor people, specifically poor people of color at stake, because they need colleges, they need healthcare, so they end up going into these wars just to get those benefits.
We need leadership that understands the nuances and the experiences of, communities that are impacted by problematic policies.
The only meaningful way of gaining our support is to actually come down to our communities, make promises, develop relationships with us so that we can hold you accountable.
We are a minority, but we can actually decide who is going to be the next person in power in 2020.
The ruling class, the profiteers, the billionaires, they don't want us to vote because they want the status quo.
Vote. That's the one thing that you have that nobody can take away from you. This is your one shot to make the government how you want it to be. So go out and vote.